Welcome to Alaska Matters with Chris Story. To reach Chris, call 226-3933. 226-3933. Now, giving you something to talk about, here's Chris Story.
I'm right back off of the quintessential Alaskan trip. Last night, about 4:30, I headed up the road to pick up Tiffany. Drove up to Anchorage. She was flying into the Ted Stevens International Airport from a long week in Vancouver, Washington. Anyway, so I head up to pick her up. I'm supposed to be there at 9. I leave Homer at 4:30, and I think that's plenty of time. Well, I didn't anticipate road work. Well, that was my bad. Should have anticipated that. Anyway, so I get to the airport. She's been waiting for about 10 minutes, and we turned around this morning at 6 o'clock, left there at 6 o'clock so I could get in here to be with you, of course. Need to talk to you and find out what's going on in your life. But anyway, just thought, what a great place to do that. What a journey. I saw incredible rivers, mountains, streams, tourists, streams of tourists. This is such a unique place to live, and just to experience that quick turnaround and get me out of my bubble of where I'm living in the moment and just suddenly realize that no wonder so many people come here. And what a beautiful drive. I mean, just gorgeous. I had nothing to do but drive and be present in the moment of driving up the highway and enjoying all of the sights and sounds at some point, just rolling down the windows and just taking in all of Alaska. I just love it here. I can see why so many people put this Alaska trip on their bucket list. I sure hated to hear that story at the noon news scan about the gentleman that made his bike trip up here and then got hit down in Georgia. So sad, just really tragic. But, he made it to Alaska, and his family will always remember that. So that's a good news. Good news. Great program today. I couldn't miss today. I don't want you to miss this show. Kathy Sarnes is our guest. She's an artrepreneur. It's a term I just coined, artrepreneur. She's a businesswoman living here in Homer, Alaska, and I guarantee you, no matter where you're listening to this in Alaska, you've seen Kathy's artwork. I know it. I know you've seen it. In fact, if you're driving down the road and you're listening to this, you might even be looking at Kathy's artwork right now. So you'll meet Kathy Sarnes. She's an amazing artist and business person, artrepreneur, trademarking that by the way. And so that'll be coming up in a minute. Also, you'll have an opportunity to win a Blackwater Bend Espresso card, a coffee card during our Alaskan Mind Bender. And let me just first let you know that if you're in the Homer area and you're a citizen of the United States, number one, you're at least 18 years of age, you're registered to vote in the city of Homer, and have been a resident with a fixed habitation, I guess that means you can't live in a car, of the city of Homer for at least 1 year prior to October 2nd of this year, you could be a candidate for the 2-year mayoral term, and we have 2 3-year council seats coming up. The filing deadline is between tomorrow, August 1st, and the 15th, which is a week, 2 weeks out. That's also a Wednesday. So between tomorrow and August 15th, we need to find us a mayor. Have you heard of anybody that's putting their hat in the ring? I haven't. And I kind of like to pride myself as being in the know. So if you know, or you have a name, or you would like yourself to run, you don't have a whole lot of time. It starts tomorrow. It opens up tomorrow. And if you've got a name you'd like to see proffered and out there, and us to goat this individual into leading this community from the mayoral seat, or taking advantage of the 2 council seats that are open, send me a text message, 299-7653, 299-7653. Would love to hear from you. Who will be our next mayor, and is it you? Or do you have a name of somebody you think should be taking this into consideration? All right, don't go anywhere. We've got our Blackwater Bend Mind Bender question and Kathy Sarnes right here on Alaska Matters. What's the first thing you turn to in the Homer News? Come on, you can tell me. Is it the police blotter that catches you first? Or how about that crazy cartoon? Or do you go straight for the letters to the editor to see what your wacky neighbors are up to? Well, the good news is there's no wrong answer. The Homer News can be consumed any way you like it, even online. HomerNews.com is updated daily. So this Thursday, whether you're alone or with somebody, get your copy of the Homer News and dive right in. On the road to Anchorage the other day, in the distance, yes, I could see the bright lights of Blackwater Bend Espresso. While my gas tank was full, I was running on empty. Blackwater Bend Espresso, just what I needed. Along with my Black Mancino, which is a quad shot Americano in a 16-ounce glass without any cream, just like God intended it. I also got a ham and cheese croissant. I'm telling you, that was the highlight of my trip. Blackwater Bend Espresso, never leave Homer without it.
Now's the time to get those construction projects lined up for this summer. From excavating to landscaping, Gregoire Construction is the one to call to get it done. Call and talk to Richard about the work you'd like to have scheduled at 399-1526. Driveways, asphalt paving, water and sewer, land clearing and landscaping. Call 399-1526. 399-1526. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Gregoire Construction.
I'm Chris Story, and you're listening to Alaska Matters. I'm your host for Great Adventures in the Last Frontier. This program is brought to you by many great sponsors. Least of not is the Blackwater Bend Espresso, not your average drip. When I drove up to Anchorage the other day, I did stop by. This was last night. I drove up and I stopped by, and I'm going to confess to you, I get two, not one, but two Black Mancinos. And you know what that is? That's a 16-ounce Americano with 4 shots, no cream, just like God intended it, black as the night in Georgia, and it's awesome. And that's what gets me through the drive. I mean, think about that. That's 8 shots, so 4 hours. I can't do the math on that, but it's a lot of coffee for a short amount of time. But I also picked up a vegan cookie. I didn't realize they had some vegan cookies on their menu. Got a couple of those, and they're good. They're really good. Some of the vegan stuff is junk. These are good cookies. Now, not the ones that are shaped like hearts, but just the regular cookies. So I was really glad to get those. And here's what I did. I'm not bragging. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, look what I did. But there's a guy behind me. I like him. So I said to the gal, I said, let me prepay for Darren's coffee. I just want to do that. And I'm asking you, is that paying it forward or backward? Because he was behind me. All right, that's enough. That is paying it forward backwards. Thank you, Dave. All right, here's your question. I want to send you out to the Blackwater Bend for free also, along with Darren. Here's your opportunity to win. Get your phone finger flexed and ready. 299-7653 is the text number, and here's your question. The mayor of Talkeetna, Alaska, is a cat. True or false? You may have read about this. The mayor of Talkeetna is a cat. True or false? Text me your name and answer to 299-7653. You could be one of 2 lucky folks going to the Blackwater Bend for free. My guest is Kathy Sarnes, and as I said before, you've probably seen her artwork driving or riding down the road. Undoubtedly, you've seen it if you're in Alaska. Kathy moved to Homer a few years ago and established her business headquarters. Kathy Sarnes, welcome to Alaska Matters.
Hi.
Great to have you here. Now, let's just cut through the suspense. I know it's tearing at people. They're tearing their hair out right now. What artwork am I referring to that may be driving down the road right now?
That would probably be the Alaska Gold Rush license plate.
Yes, indeed. Kathy Sarnes. Now, you won a contest. Am I right on that? Describe exactly how your artwork ended up on a license plate. Was it a contest and you entered to win?
It's a sort of. It was, I was part of the group for the Gold Rush Centennial,
okay.
100-year anniversary, and I had to go to these meetings, and I was falling asleep in the back of the room. And they woke me up and said, "Aren't you an artist?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Would you like to submit some license plate ideas?" And they asked several other artists. At the time, I worked for the U.S. Forest Service, and they asked a state artist also, and we submitted, and then the committee voted on several of the designs, and then they put them in the newspaper, and then it was like a random voting.
And so the public actually picked. We picked.
Yeah, and then mine won kind of hands down.
Awesome. Now describe it. You're an artist, so surely you can describe this better than I can. Which license plate is yours that we see still out there on the road today?
It's the one that has the Gold Rush line of people walking, hiking up.
So it starts out kind of, is it yellow at the bottom and then fades up into
yellow
blue?
and blue, and it's the brighter yellow and brighter blue than our traditional license plate that is mustard yellow and navy. And this,
one just drove past my office. No, another one. I'm not kidding. That's so awesome. And I asked you during the break, I said, do you ever get tired of seeing those license plates? And you said...
No, it's kind of fun.
Oh, it's got to be nostalgic. In fact, I went to Blackwater Bend and got my coffee last night, and as I'm sitting there waiting, the gal's just about to hand me my cup of coffee, and the promo for this show comes on, and I just cranked it up, and it's like, yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Now, they're still in production, or the ones we see on the street right now are just left over from that period of time?
They are not in production anymore. They only did it for about 10 years.
Oh, okay. And so did you get royalties from those, or did you still own the artwork?
No royalties. I tried. When they first came out, I called the guy in charge of DMV, but he laughed so hard he dropped the phone.
I bet.
He says it costs us too much money to make these plates. So anyway, I just...
but you still own the artwork because you use it in your next step, which is your wearable art, the bike jerseys that we see all over the state. So you still have rights to that artwork.
Yeah, and it is a kind of a public piece of artwork, but I technically own it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went ahead and just created our first cycling jersey using that design.
How long after the license plate came out did you come up with the idea that, hey, wait a minute, this is a pretty cool design for a cycling jersey?
Yeah, the plate came out in '98, and then I got married. We started a bike shop, art gallery, and my husband, who's fairly clever, said it was 2003, the end of 2003 or early 2004. He said, we need a shop jersey. Why don't you use your license plate design? Oh. And I said, I don't think anybody would want that. And then he said, no, you should do it. And so I did it, and they sold much quicker than the bikes. So they flew out the door. So anyway, it evolved. We sold all the bikes, got rid of that, and turned it into a jersey business.
Now, describe a jersey for those that may not know. I mean, I know that if they can visualize the license plate, they'll know, instantly. I've seen lots and lots of cyclists all around Alaska wearing them, but it's designed for what purpose? I mean, how you can wear it any way you want, but I mean, what was the concept?
The concept is it's a cycling jersey for bike riders that cycle on non-motorized bikes, and it's wick dry. The jersey is so when you sweat, it wicks dry really fast. It's very bright colors. It's the bright yellow in the bottom, and it goes up to the bright blue, and it says Alaska, fairly large. It shows the little guys climbing up it's a pass. It looks like Chilkoot Pass, but I actually based it off the Valdez Glacier. That's another story. Anyway, so it's just made for athletes. People buy them for triathlons, for cycling.
And they're all over Alaska, as I said. I mean, I've seen them in Anchorage. I see them everywhere. Where exactly are they sold around the state and also out in the rest of the world?
We and then of course I've expanded to other designs now. I've created designs for other states, and I just create things out of my head of how I visualize that state. I do all my own artwork. So right now in Alaska, we sell them to lots of stores, like in Anchorage and in little towns. We even have them in Sitka, the Yellow Jersey Bike Shop. We have them, and then at the present time, we're also at REI. So,
and that's the one location in Anchorage, or other locations as well?
They're nationwide now because we sell the other states to them as well.
That's a big deal. You're in REI at nationwide.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then we also sell them online, so that's worldwide. We sell them all over the world. And I'm not talking just the Gold Rush jersey, it's all the designs.
All the designs.
If you go to our website, you can check it out, and you can see where they're sold at and what we sell. And I don't know.
So I guess you answered my next question. I was going to ask you if you're still creating artwork and doing different things, and I'm calling this wearable art. Is that a fair statement?
It's what it is. It is wearable art, yes.
And so you're obviously still painting and doing originals and things specifically for the jerseys pertinent to other states.
Yep, specifically for the jerseys, and it's so much fun because I've done artwork for walls for so long, and now I can do these, and I make them so they're visible from a distance, and so people can see them, and they make people smile.
Yeah.
Usually a little.
And it's a safety issue, too, isn't it? I mean, you're safer if people can see you from a distance when you're on a bike.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose is for you want people that are in cars to go, whoa, look at that jersey, and then and be excited to see it rather than, whoa, not see the rider. So
Exactly.
we do it for that reason, too.
Well, how do you balance your time between being a business person and an artist? Kathy Sarnes will be back to answer that question, and you still have an opportunity to win a Blackwater Bend Espresso gift card. The question is the mayor of Talkeetna, Alaska, really a cat? Is that true or is that false? The number, 299-7653. 299-7653. Text me your name and answer whether or not you think that Toonsis the cat, or as actually referred to as Stubbs the cat, is really the mayor of Talkeetna. Stay tuned. More with Kathy Sarnes on Building a Brand on Alaska Matters. After this long winter, you deserve a break. Treat yourself to the joys of Alaska this summer and let Dutch Boy Landscaping take care of your lawn and yard work. Danny and his team are ready to make your property look its best. So when you see the bay is flat calm and the fish are biting, head out on the water and know your lawn's going to look its best all summer long. Dutch Boy Landscaping. Call Danny today at 235-7140. That's Dutch Boy Landscaping at 235-7140. Dutch Boy, your lawn's best friend.
Ready to become a homeowner? Deborah Lysick at Bay Realty has what might just be the perfect opportunity for you. A brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bath home on Fairview Avenue. Cute as a button and affordable. It's a 5-star home with quality 2x8 construction tucked in the trees for maximum privacy. Act now and take advantage of an AHFC rebate for new construction property. You're going to love being a homeowner. Call Deborah Lysick at Bay Realty today at 235-6183. 235-6183 and get going. Remember, when you need results, Bay Realty works.
For Radio Realty, I'm Chris Story. How can you make sure you're getting the best deal you can when you invest in real estate? It's as simple as TIP. T is for timing. Measure the timing of the market and your life. I is for information. Get all of it you can up front. Do your homework. P is for price. The lowest price a great deal doesn't always make. And that's your real estate tip for today. Catch Radio Realty live every Wednesday at 12:30 on KPEN 102 FM.
You're listening to Alaska Matters. I'm Chris Story along with Dave Webb back up at the mothership of KGTL. My guest right now is Kathy Sarnes Irwin, and she is the entrepreneur responsible for a license plate you may in fact have on your vehicle and a bicycle jersey you may in fact have on your body right now. Kathy, I asked you, and I've got to share this. Everyone needs to hear this. I think this is the coolest thing ever. So I asked you, what's one of the most awesome things about your business, one of the things that you're most proud of? And so what is it? What are you most proud of? What gives you the biggest joy?
You know, all the letters and emails we get from customers who claim they have more fun or they have a better experience when they're wearing our bike jerseys. We have people that are, they went to Ireland. They ended up leaving the jerseys on and going to the pubs with the jerseys on because it creates so much positive conversation and attention in a good way that, I get emails every day from all over the world just saying, thank you. We had such a good time. Thank you. We got a free car because of your jersey. We borrow for 3 days, whatever it was. Anyway, that to me, it makes me happy. It makes me want to do more.
That's like incredibly rewarding. I can only imagine.
Real rewarding, yeah.
That's neat. What you've done, Kathy, and I think that what you just said exemplifies that point, is that you've built a brand. It's not just and I don't know, because I once made a living from my artwork, and so I know that there's this sort of a strange bedfellow does art and business make, and I just wonder, how do you balance the time, your time specifically, between being an artist and being a business person? How do you marry those two?
Whew, that is the question of the day. I work on it all the time. We hired a really good, wonderful office person now who deals with all the paperwork that I used to struggle with. Mm-hmm. That is a big help. And I'm actually in the middle of taking a business class for a year to help us with that, because the bigger we get, the more we grow, the more designs I do, the less time I actually have to make more designs. So it's a balancing act. And then, of course, I live in Homer, and I want to play a lot.
Right.
Balance that.
Yeah.
Going fishing, going hiking.
I mean, your husband, Pat, can't have all the fun.
Yeah, exactly. And he helps, too, a lot. He's the heavy lifter, idea, support man. He deals with customers.
Well, it sounds like a lot like my relationship with my wife, where when anything good that's happened to us, it's not been like just singular. It's we work together and support each other in a way that together we do way more than individually we could have ever accomplished. And it sounds like Pat's just spurning you on the idea of saying, hey, let's get your design on a jersey, has started a whole revolution in your life.
Yeah, if he hadn't had that idea, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And he's just really good at that. When I come up with a new design.
So basically there is no right or wrong answer. I mean, in other words, there's no secret sauce or magic to saying, okay, I'm an artist, here's how that translates into a business formula, or now that I'm an artist in business, here's how I can balance the life. You're still, 10, 12 years into your business, still working on that. We're still working that out. But I don't have the secret key yet, but I'm aware of it. I'm aware that neither of us have taken a business class before, and we're in the middle of this now, and so we ask lots of help. We read lots of things, and like I said, I'm taking this pretty serious class for the next year on how to balance it even better. But the big thing for me is I have to plan and select chunks of time in order to do the artwork. Right. And so in other words, being scheduled, be the discipline to be scheduled.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then if I go to that schedule and I'm not feeling creative, I've got to regroup and say, we'll try this again later.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
Creative spurts come and go.
Exactly, and you've got to seize the moment. You can't always schedule creativity. But I did have an opportunity to do an interview with Dana Stabenow, the local author here. She's nationwide, but she lives here in Homer. Mm-hmm. And she said that and that's a creative field as well. And she just said you've got the advice she gives new authors or any authors is to write every single day, even if it's a sentence or a paragraph or a page. Write every single day. Do you find yourself creating artwork every single day, one way or another?
No, but I am working on ideas every single day. Mm-hmm. I kind of have this funny thing I do. I create subconsciously in the back of my mind while I'm doing other things. Like they say you can't do two things at once, but I really think about, like if I'm thinking about Wisconsin, I've got to do a jersey for them. I want to do something original. I don't want to do the same old thing. I'll look at a website for a while. I'll talk to some friends from Wisconsin, and then I'll be doing some other things, but I'm thinking about it. And then when I finally make the time to do it, oftentimes it'll just, the first sketch I come out with is it. It's like, whoa, I was thinking about this. It did work. And it's kind of interesting. It's sort of subconscious creativity, and I don't know if that makes sense, but I think I've talked to other business-type art people, and they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they can identify with that. That is so awesome. And that's
when I do have a sketch in my head, though, I stop everything and sketch it down because it's usually the right thing. When it comes right to my head, I just drop whatever and get it on paper.
Wow.
And it's usually pretty rough. And, so when I go to schools and talk to kids, I love showing them my initial sketches because they love it because they could have drawn them themselves.
Right, and then just to contrast that with the finished product.
Yep. And I said I just do a lot of research and a lot of work after that, and then it comes out to this.
Now, you said you're an REI nationwide. What's the difference between working with that group or organization and a small shop that you might be in Cordova or Ketchikan or somewhere? Is it night and day difference working with two different scales of economy like that? Yeah,
it is. And we're kind of regrouping our business, and we're leaning more towards the smaller shops. That I think 2013 will be a little different. But it is. It's a whole different ballgame.
It is. Yeah. Just to parrot what you just said, we went through. My wife and I had a pottery business, and we went through the similar deal where we ended up working really hard to get into a major store. It was Princess Cruises, and we got on every single ship in their gift shops, and then went, okay, and we didn't do that anymore. It was different. It was really different. It was the goal we thought we really wanted, and then it turned out to be different than we wanted.
Exactly. I mean, it appears to be, it is good in a lot of ways, but it's a little bigger than us.
Well, talk about building a brand in Alaska. I think that we're perceived to be so far from the rest of the world, and I always refer to the internet as the great equalizer, and I don't know if that's played a big role in you expanding your business or not, but what have been some of the challenges in building your brand here in Alaska, and what advice do you give to people that are trying to overcome similar challenges or just that getting things off the ground?
Yeah, shipping prices are higher, so we're always kind of struggling with that, especially lately, because then they even got higher the last couple of years. Although it is an advantage too, and we call someone that's like, I'm calling from Homer, Alaska. We're the bike jersey business you were referring to. They're like, Homer, Alaska, you have this business in Homer, Alaska, and we will actually it creates a new conversation versus them saying, oh, we're not interested.
Right, exactly. Alaska opens doors, doesn't it?
Yeah, it opens doors, I think, and I think it's unique and it's wonderful, and there's so many people that have been here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, I think we have gotten a lot of business because of the fact we're here, more than not.
So I guess in other words then, maybe Alaska itself isn't the challenge, but surely there's been challenges. It sounds like you're overcoming some of them with education and mixing in some expertise where you lack it. Anything else you'd give new entrepreneurs some advice on?
I say don't be shy. You have to promote yourself. You have to get out there and say, here we are, this is what we're doing, and because you can't hide your light under the basket or whatever that term is, and because we are a little bit way out of the way. And the other thing we're educating ourselves in is website, getting the website out, because we're working on our keywords, our Google Analytics, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's another basically full-time job for my husband and I and Angela. So I think just, for me, I need to live where I love. I can't move because of a job, and so we've created this enterprise around where we love being the most. And I think I wouldn't be able to create if I wasn't where I loved to be. So I could try to figure out how to be in a cheaper, more affordable place, in the lower 48 just because of shipping, but then I would lose everything else. So we just deal with the shipping, and actually shipping out is fine. We do U.S. Postal Service, which absolutely is the best organization in the world. I got to give them a plug. We have been shipping jerseys through them since 2003. I mean, we have literally thousands, and we've only lost one.
Wow.
I think the postman stole it. No, I think
there's a backhanded compliment.
or a dog stole it or something, and we just sent the guys in New Jersey.
I know people are wanting to know where they can go take a look at these, where they can order them, and just see exactly what you and I have been talking about. What is your website where you direct us to? We have several, whichever one you can remember best. Alaska Jersey is a good one to remember. That'll take you right to it. Is that alaskajersey.com?
.com.
Okay.
And it'll come up when you look at the header. It'll say freespiritwear.com. That's but anyway, they all go to the same place.
Cool.
And our shop is at 1213 Ocean Drive in Homer, and we're right just past the farmer's market if you're driving towards Spit, across from the washboard. And we're just a little shop there, and we're open Tuesday through Saturday. But the website, again, is alaskajersey.com, and you can check it out. We have a new website. We found beautiful people that would work for trade.
Oh,
Homer.
For models. Nice.
For models.
Good idea. Good idea. Well, Kathy Sarnes, it's been a pleasure. I've admired your work for a long time and admire you and your husband, and we're so glad to have you amongst our Alaskan community and our Homer community. So keep up the great work, and just thanks for everything you do in your time today.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a real pleasure getting to know Kathy Sarnes a little more. Just a great artist. I mean, and it's so not easy to make that transition from artist, pure full-on artist to business person. And so, anyway, Dave, did you know the answer to our Blackwater Bend Espresso Mind Bender?
You know, I was just thinking that those stick men that I love to make, they don't translate well to anything, really.
They actually, well, don't be so bashful. Some of the funniest cartoons in the world I've ever seen where, like, the guy's I got your back, and the little stick man's holding the other one's back
cute.
in his
That's
hand. I mean, come
nice.
on, see? Even you could do something like that. Well, in fact, it's false. Stubbs, the mayor of Talkeetna, is literally not the mayor. CNN, I mean, all kinds of news organizations ran with this story over the weekend. And the fact of the matter is that 15 years ago, as the story goes, town residents didn't like candidates who were running for the mayor of Talkeetna. As a joke, they encouraged enough people to elect Stubbs the cat. That's not true. It's false. It's sort of a folklore. It's actually a district. It's not even a city, so they don't have a mayor. They have a borough mayor, and indeed, he's not a cat. So a lot of research went into this, and I'm telling you, I went to the Facebook page for Stubbs. It's like 25,000 subscribers, Dave. There it is. I don't know who the winner is, Dave. I don't know.
No.
I got a lot of wrong answers, and one I was going to give this person the deal. Let me just give it to him anyway. $16.99. Whoever you are, Alaska matters, and so do you.
The Peninsula's home for unforgettable favorites. Great listening. 620 AM, KGTL.